Full Court Press.
Yeah.
Episode 4.
What's good?
It's been a month. Episode 4, 4 weeks.
Dags, it has been a
Time's
month.
been flying.
Wow.
Been flying. Can't complain. Been loving it every
This
step
be the
of the
highlight
way.
of my week, bro.
Honestly, I look forward to Thursdays every single time. Like when I walk in on Thursday and I get to jot notes and just
Exactly.
recap over the week, definitely the highlight. Definitely, especially when you ain't in school, you don't do nothing else. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, is what it is. But we got a lot to talk about.
A lot.
Actually, not too much. But playoff-wise, everything's looking good. Games are looking
Finally,
real good.
the second round.
The second round
And
looks
I'm
like the best
excited
round.
to see everyone finally in the second. I did enjoy the first round. The first round had some good basketball.
Yeah.
But a little bit of it was like, all right,
Kinda
can we get
predictable
to this
and- yeah.
second round because we know this is kind of over.
Warriors,
Like,
personally.
not even for me. It was the Bucks games.
Was
I
it
was just
really?
like, can we know?
Yeah,
I
'cause
was like,
it was
can we
kinda
get
like,
this, can
this
we
is
get this
too
done?
easy.
The Bucks
Yeah.
games, the Celtics games.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all
It's
can't
very
just
true.
y'all can't let them move on when they win 3. Like we gotta play another game.
We got to watch y'all sweep people this bad. Y'all even got Blake coming off the bench.
Exactly.
Ain't even supposed to be playing.
Exactly. But I'm happy for the second round.
Yeah, definitely. Everything's starting to look good. So we'll start off with the East. Just to recap what's been going on since last week. Most teams have played about 2 games so
Yeah.
far.
Pretty
the
much everyone,
third
I think, has
happening
played 2
tonight.
games, yeah.
But yeah, so far it's been almost splitting in almost every series. Looking real good except one. We'll start off with the Sixers and Raptors.
Sixers Raptors.
Game 1.
So game 1, and I said it once, and I'll say it again, and everyone keeps saying it. Kawhi scores with the ease of Kevin Durant, and game 1 it was on full display. Kawhi was getting whatever he wanted to get,
100%.
like buckets,
45 and
easy.
11.
Well,
Big boy.
Could nobody guard him in game?
Yeah,
in
he
game
looked
1.
very unguardable. And supposedly their best defender, which is technically Jimmy speaking, but I think
He don't match
Kawhi's
up well with
size, he
Kawhi,
doesn't
yeah.
match up.
Kawhi's too big.
That they made the smart move and switched to Ben.
Yeah,
Which helped a lot.
I think, like IQ wise, Ben's not a better defender than Jimmy. Don't
Nah,
get me
not
wrong,
at all.
people.
Not
but
at all.
He just has the body.
He
for
just has the
guarding.
body to
like,
do it.
Like Kawhi can't just move him as easily as he was moving.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. And that's what I saw. Like, we watched Kawhi just bring on the complete package. Defense, offense, all around. Single-handedly was too much for the Sixers to overcome that game. Which I'm not going to put that on the Sixers' talent. I think they just didn't game plan that well
Yeah,
for the Raptors.
yeah.
But most games, that's the first game. Usually, you got a game plan from there.
Yep.
So I didn't really look at that as a big deal. They lost. I wasn't worried about it at all. Then
Game
we
2 was
had
interesting.
Game 2.
Game 2 was interesting. The Sixers came out hot in game 2, and the Raptors kind of just didn't come out. They didn't look like the same Raptors from game 1.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what it was, but they came out looking a little lethargic to me, and Sixers got out to a lead and just kind of held on to it from there. The end of that game though got really interesting. I really thought the Raptors was about to come back because the Sixers have been playing better, but I still don't
100%.
necessarily always trust them to close out games well.
We've had a year of them, especially early on in the season, I would say before All-Star break, where
yeah.
they had this step of where they would literally lose games in the last like 5 minutes.
Exactly.
They'd be up a whole game, last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, they'd literally lose the game.
Yep.
So we kind of got a glimpse of that. They were up, 13 for a pretty long time.
Yeah.
Kept going up 10, 13, 11. Next thing you know, 5-point game, 3-point game, 1-point game. And I'm like, all right, come on now.
We only won the game by 5.
Yeah, we won the game by 5, and that's because they had to start fouling.
Yeah.
So
the game was actually even closer
I
to
think
that.
we were
at one
up by 1 at one point. But Jimmy Butler, again, 30 points, that led that win.
Yeah,
And
because
they need him to step up because
no one else really had a good game in game 2, low key.
Yeah, the rest of the staff, the rest of the players on the Sixers really didn't have that great of a game. Jimmy kind of held them down, and it's almost been that way all the playoffs. And I'm not saying Jimmy had a spectacular game every single game, but he showed up on the games where they really needed him to. You know,
And low key, if I'm the Raptors, I'm not really like hanging my head on losing game 2 because, in my opinion, the Raptors low-key could have won that game if they'd shot better. No one on their team really had good shooting night.
Yeah.
Pascal Siakam was 9 for 25. Like, I don't think that's going to happen again in game 2. Now, they put Joel on him, which surprised me. But if I'm the Raptors, if the Sixers put Tobias Harris or Marc Gasol again on game 3, they got to exploit that. Like, the Raptors cannot let Tobias Harris guard Marc Gasol.
yeah.
And I'm not even saying it since that, like, Mark is going to blow up for 30 points. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's that type of player still anymore. But just that size difference, you give the ball to Marc Gasol, it makes the Sixers react, and it's going to leave someone open on the Raptors.
Yeah,
and I think that's
100%.
a wrinkle that Nick Nurse is going to try to exploit. So I don't think that's going to work again in Game 3. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Sixers try to do defensively to try to switch some things up.
Yeah, no, 100%. Now, do you think that the problems with the Toronto Raptors came from defense?
No, I think
Of the Sixers,
they
or
were
they
just
just
missing
were
open
bad?
shots. They were just missing shots.
Okay,
That's
I got you.
and that's why I'm thinking, like, if you're the Raptors, because when I was watching that game, it'd be like some shots. Like Danny Green was 1 for 6 from 3. That's not going to happen
Yeah.
again. Kawhi 3 for 10. First off, Kawhi, why are you shooting 10 threes? Like, I felt like they weren't playing their game.
Yeah.
Like Kawhi, he can shoot the three. Don't get me wrong. He's a knockdown shooter, but he's not like the type of person to shoot 10 threes in a game.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. And the thing is with the Sixers is another thing I saw that I thought was interesting. Like you just made the point, the Toronto Raptors had an off game. If you look at the box score for the Sixers, if it wasn't for Greg Monroe and James Ennis,
Bro,
they
yes.
don't get in. They
I was
barely
thinking the
get
same thing
scoring time. If
when
it
I was
wasn't for them,
watching
they
that
wouldn't have
game.
won that game.
When I was watching the game, I said, "Yo, James Ennis, if he wasn't on the team, I don't know what was
And
going
Greg
to happen."
Monroe, they wouldn't have won that game.
Yep.
They literally wouldn't have won
Greg
that game.
Monroe, 11 minutes, 10 points.
That's what you know. I mean, 10,
4 for 7.
7. Like that type of. If it wasn't for that bench, the Sixers wouldn't
Hey,
have
you
won
know
that
what's
game
funny?
because
You know what's funny?
The problem. What's up?
I was hyped when the Sixers picked up Greg Monroe, and everybody was like, "Hawk, why are you excited?"
I was hyped. I
Everybody
like
was
Greg
like, "Why
Monroe. I
y'all
know he's
excited
a
about
little
Greg
bit washed.
Monroe?"
That's
And
the dude.
I just like him. I like Greg. I liked him way back. He doesn't really fit in today's NBA, but I mean, he kind of works a little bit.
He works off the bench.
Yeah.
If you just need a decent body off the bench, he works. And as you saw, he was productive, and he helped them get that win. Because without him, they wouldn't have got that win. You know, we've been talking about the Sixers starting 5 and how they're meshing together, and I don't think it's a problem of meshing at this point. People just aren't showing up. Like Tobias, 9 points. We brought him in as a player averaging 20. And so far,
Yeah, he's not
in
been
the
that
playoffs
player.
in general, he hasn't been that great. In this series, Joel and Ben haven't really been great at all. Ben, 6 points. You can get more than 6
Joel
points.
got the runs apparently.
Yeah, Joel's stomach is messed up.
Gastro
Joel's
and
knee is
testonitis,
messed
whatever.
up. Joel's back is messed up. Like, it's a lot going on right now, and it kind of makes you question, like, where do they go from here?
Yeah.
You know, we got a bunch of free contracts coming up. You got Tobias. You got, Jimmy. You got
Tobias,
Boban.
Jimmy,
you got
JJ.
James. You got Greg Monroe. You got, it's a bunch of people on this list that are going to be, you got JJ Redick, if I'm correct.
Yep.
It's a lot of players on here that are free agents. And it's kind of like, if you just bring all these players back, what are we gonna get to here? Like, are we ever gonna be?
Yeah, they're gonna have to change some things up.
You know, Eastern Conference Finals. And I don't want to say you got to fire Brett Brown. I don't believe it as much as everybody else. Now, here I will say, I don't think if the Sixers were to win a championship, it can't be with Brett Brown. I do believe that.
That makes sense, yeah.
He won't be able to propel them
No.
further
No.
than what. You know, what I mean, they're standalone talent.
He wouldn't be able to be like those coaches who like, the team's not that talented, but
I
they
can get
can win
him
some
there.
games. Like,
Greg,
you know what I mean?
Pop.
Like a Popovich is the type of player. Like, no one thought the Spurs were even going to be in the playoffs, let alone making
on paper aren't really that good.
Yeah,
but
so-
because they have Pop, he can get them further. So I think there will be a coach change. Now, for me,
I don't know.
a lot of people are saying, like, should you give him one more year, a full year with the team? I'm saying,
and
if
that's
you're
also in his defense. That's true. Like,
yeah, he didn't have a full year with the team.
didn't have a full year of the team. Like the actual starting 5, I want to say only played like less, like around 20 games
I think
or
it
less
was
than 20 games
and then
together.
even
The actual
then,
starting
Joel
5
was out a lot.
Exactly.
Once the
So-
trade happened, so who knows how many they really played together?
Yeah.
Probably under 10. But I do understand that. So I don't know if I agree with letting him have all next season.
Yeah,
Or some people are like, all you're doing is pushing off the inevitable.
Inevitable.
He's never gonna get him to a championship level team. He's not that type of coach.
Yeah, I don't.
And I do believe that. So it's kind of like when you sign these new contracts and you build this new team next year, whether you pick up some new bench pieces, some new starting pieces, do you just switch over to a new coach and all together just get started? Or do you give them another year, see what happens? I think if you give them another year, they might lose the second round. They might get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but I think that's it. and then you're just going to get a new coach anyway.
I think they'll probably give him another year just because.
I think they will.
It's a lot of potential that the rest of the Eastern Conference could look very different.
Yeah.
With Kawhi, we don't know what he's going to do.
That's
Kyrie,
true.
we don't know what he's going to do. KD allegedly might be on the East, so they might give him another year just because the East could look completely different.
Yeah,
and it could
you
be whole
get rid of
different
Kawhi.
teams
You get rid of Kawhi
that they're going to be going up against. So they might just give him another year just because of that.
And that makes sense. Yeah, I'm just excited to see. I think that, like we talked about earlier, Jimmy Butler being the face where people are kind of like, y'all don't want him here, or we'll let him walk this summer.
Yeah.
Right now, it's looking like he might be the most important piece you need to bring back. Now,
he's a hooper.
Is it a 5-year, $190 million they've been talking about?
That would be that's a potential. Yeah, between
Too much.
190 and
I think
180.
that's too much money.
Is the current max contract? It's either 5 year or 4 years, and for Jimmy, that's too much money.
Yeah, I would go at the most probably 5-year, 150.
Whew, that's still a lot of money.
I'm not going. He proved he's going to probably be your best player if Joel keeps acting the way he is. I would give him. Give him.
Wow, that's. 30,
that's a
what
lot. Is that? $30 million a year.
5 year, $30 million a year.
I would give him the 30.
Yeah,
because if people start talking and saying,
because he'll get offers from other teams, so you have to give him 30.
So you got to give him something decent. If you don't give him that, he's just going to leave. What are you going to give him? 20? He's going to leave.
Yeah.
You give him $100 million, he's going to walk away.
Jimmy has said before he wants to win, but people always try and get that bag as well.
Yeah,
so
if you can find a situation where it's a similar situation and you can get it back, you go ahead and you take that. So give them that, and then we'll see what other changes they make. But I think for them to be, a better step up team than what they are right now, something has to change. Something definitely has to change.
Question for you. It's still in terms of, it's about the Raptors, but is Kawhi the best player on the East right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I
think that's a real question.
This is why. I was on Twitter and I saw a lot of people make arguments of why he wouldn't be, and I was just like, it was a lot of people saying why Kawhi isn't the best player in the East Coast right now.
What argument is there? Are they saying Giannis?
People were saying Giannis, people were saying Kyrie, and I was just like, I just didn't see it personally. I think Kawhi is the best player in the East Coast right now. And he plays like he's the best player in the East right now. So
I'll tell you right now why people say Kyrie, I don't understand, because somebody has to understand that when you say the best, that means all around.
Yeah, and
Kyrie can't play D. So automatically he can't be number one.
People be forgetting that though.
And people do forget that because people forget defense is basketball.
Yeah.
They think, well, who's the best shooter on the all right, he's the best.
Yeah.
Same thing I said with Steph Curry. You can't call him the best, you can't play defense. He's the best shooter, period. He's the best shooter of all time. He's not the best player. He can't play D. And if you don't agree with that, then you take back the statement you just made about Kyrie.
No. I wouldn't say. I'm not saying Steph's the best player in the league. That's not what I'm saying. I just think. I don't think that's the same argument because some people will say Steph could be the best player because he's also the best point guard in the league. You can't be the best player on the East Coast if you're not even the best point guard in the league.
All right, is he the best point guard in the league?
Curry's the best point guard in the league.
Do you really think Steph Curry is the best point guard in the league?
Who's better than him? Kyrie?
I'm saying Kyrie or Dame.
We'll have that conversation next week.
Something we'll have later. We might have to look some stuff up, cook some stuff up.
But I'm interested to see. So Game 3 is tonight in Philly. I know the Raptors are going to come with a lot of different schemes. I'm
interested.
And
I think this can change.
The way they got beat last game, the way they know they didn't shoot too well, I think their players are going to shoot a lot better.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be more so that if the Sixers want to win, they have to play better. The Sixers can't play like they played last game and expect to win again because the Raptors. I know the Raptors aren't playing the same way they played.
They won't have the same game they had. So the Sixers, and the thing is, the Sixers have a lot of room to play better
because low key that was a very low scoring game in terms of today's NBA. That's both of 95 to 108 is a very for
especially
game one.
For both of those
and
teams, they put up at least average probably almost 110.
Yeah, that was a very low scoring game.
It was a low scoring game. So I just think that tonight would tell a lot for the entire series. I think if the Raptors come out and let's say the Sixers have a bad game, the Sixers aren't really in this series. I don't think they are. I think you just can't complete. They've had a bad game every game so far. They just were lucky enough that the Raptors had a worse game. Because if it wasn't for Jimmy having a good game last game or their bench helping them out, that never helped the whole year. We never got those type of points from any of them this whole year, even though Greg just came. But we never got that assistance really from the bench. If it wasn't for them, they wouldn't have won that game. So they bailed them out with that. So, but we'll see what happens tonight. We will be at B-Dubs, local B-Dubs watching it.
Exactly.
Let y'all know next week. What else we got?
Celtics, Bucks. This series is really blowing my mind.
Yeah, it makes no sense, actually.
Both teams have won by 20.
By 20.
Like,
gave him a dub piece, yeah.
And part of
100%.
that, in my opinion, it comes down to some coaching. Because the Celtics came out, and the Celtics looked like the Celtics we were always waiting for.
That's what I was saying.
In game one. Like, the Celtics looked like, yo, we know we have the most talent on paper. Let's ball like that. Let's hoop like that. Let's hit shots. Let's play great defense on Giannis. Like, was Al Horford wearing a Hawks jersey? He looked young out there. He looked young out there, moving, playing great defense on Giannis.
He did
you saw
look
the
really
possession
good.
where in game one where he got them 2 back-to-back blocks, like, and the same, like, he blocked him. Giannis got the rebound, then he blocked him again. I said, yo, Horford was hooping out there.
Yeah, he looked really, really good. He
and
really
I think
did.
his impact is so underrated for the Celtics because if you look at the box score, Horford's not going to blow up for like 30 points and like 20 rebounds. He's not going to have that type of game. But his impact's going to be all over the game.
2011.
On the defense,
Is what he put up.
pick and pop, hitting all of them like open mid-range jumpers, and they were just leaving them wide open for it. Like, he can't shoot that. I don't know. But then the Bucks came back in game 2 and was like, all right, we can actually play ball too. Let's everybody calm down.
Yeah, let's relax. We're going to give them the same dub they gave us.
Yeah.
And we're just going to keep going. And for me, it was like, I didn't expect that to happen. The only time last time I seen teams like go back and forth, blow each other out was like when the Cavs were coming back from that Warriors deficit, and they were back and forth blowing each other out.
Yeah.
So I was just like, this makes no sense at all. So that's one of the games I'm super interested in because I believe the game's going to be a lot tighter.
Yeah, game 3 is going to be tighter, I
think it's going to be a lot tighter because they figured the time. Both coaches figured each other out, and they kind of know where to go from here. So I want to see who wins this. I think this one might be the most interesting in the whole thing. I think this might be the most interesting because I think talent-wise in the East, they're definitely the 2 top teams.
Yeah.
And I think that Giannis is the most dominant player out of both teams. But I think the Celtics as a whole have a better team.
Celtics have a whole better team, and I think the Celtics have figured out how to play, not how to completely stop him, but how to find a way to play defense on him.
Yeah, to I mean, if he only scores 20, you did a good job. Because we watch him blow up for 40, 50 when he wants to.
Exactly.
It's at that point now. So I mean, we'll see what happens. But I mean, game 2. The Bucks came right back. I think they played well. Overall great defense on the Celtics. They did. They kind of contained everybody, and that was the big thing is you don't have to completely stop people nowadays. But if you can, in the playoffs when Kyrie is dropping 30, if you can get him to drop 15, then keep everybody else low-digit numbers, you played a good defense. And that's all we expect. I think, and another thing that happened, I was also looking at Middleton and Bledsoe. Bledsoe put up 21, 3 and 5. Middleton put up 28 and 7. Giannis put it up 29, 9 and 4.
Yeah, there are other guys that play well.
When you have those 3 guys averaging almost 80 points, then that's a different type of game. When you have 3 people, because at the end of the day, a big game plan against the Bucks is stop Giannis, let everybody else score. But when you have Bledsoe and Middleton scoring at that clip, you can't let that happen either. It spaces out the floor a little bit more, kind of helps out. So I think if they're all doing that and Middleton and Bledsoe and other guys are really helping, I think they'll be just fine. I don't know who's going to win this because I think they're really close to being evenly talented, but I mean, it's something we got to see.
You know who I was upset, like not upset with, but I felt like it's taking a step back, and I don't really know what happened because he looked so good in that series against Indiana in the last couple of games of the season. Gordon Hayward had 5 points in game 2. He was 1 for 5. He played 30 minutes. Like, and that's why I had me so like nervous about Boston Celtics going into the series because I said it, and I think it was one of the other episodes that if Gordon Hayward can continue to play like he was playing in Indiana, it might be quiet because if he can give them 15 to 20 points off the bench, that's a lot of just extra weaponry off your bench.
Yeah.
But then he had 5 in game 2, so I don't really know what happened. And I don't know if it's because the Bucks have better defenders, which they do. They have better defenders than
100%.
The Pacers had, but that really baffled me, to say the least.
Honestly, like at this point with Gordon, we obviously know he's not the Gordon Hayward before the injury. Are we ever going
to see that Gordon again?
I don't think so.
I think we could see him next. I want to say we could see him next year, but
I don't think so. He doesn't seem like.
Because even the Gordon last year, not to say, I want people to say to get me wrong and say he wasn't talented, because what I'm going to say might sound like I'm saying he didn't have talent and skill. But his skill set wasn't a whole lot of talent and skill. His skill set was, he was talented, he was skilled, but that wasn't what he was known for. He was known for scrappy, he was known for hustle, he was known for doing the dirty work, blue collar type player, and hustling. And that's how he messed around, dropped 28 on you. some of that is just hustle plays and just working
him
harder
hustling,
than
working hard than his
man.
defender. Yeah,
And I think some of that he may have lost
with
due to that injury.
And I think that's mainly, I think, a mental thing.
I agree.
And
I think it really is a mental thing.
That's a lot of.
So he could come back from it, but I don't think it would be this playoffs in these playoffs.
I don't think it'll be this playoffs either. I'm hoping it's next year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's something he's going to have to figure out probably over the summer. It's not really the time to do it now, but they need him now.
Yeah,
so
they do.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully,
Also, speaking of needing now, you think Malcolm Brogdon's going to come back this series? So before this series
heard about
started,
that. Yeah.
They said he might come. He might be out for at least. Everyone's pretty much saying the first 2 games. Bucks coach said that they're not sure if he's coming back 100% for game 3, but he's practiced a lot with them this week, and they said he looks pretty close to the Malcolm Brogdon that we know and remember. So I think they're the Bucks are hopeful that he'll come back this series. I don't know if it'll be game 3, but I think he'll probably be back this series. And if he can get anywhere close to being the type of player he was before,
this series over.
Like he averaged 15 a game for the regular season.
He can change that.
And he shoots great. He was in the 50-40-90 club this season.
Yeah.
So
he can change that. Yeah, he can change.
If he can come back kind of what he was, an extra 10 to 15 a game
off your bench, I don't think the Sixers can. Because at that Sixers, I don't think the Celtics can match. Because at that point, you can't definitively say the Celtics have a better team on paper.
Yeah,
because on paper the Bucks would have just as much talent, and also having the most dominant player in the East right now, the most dominant. I think that might be upset. We'll see. I hope he comes back.
Yeah, I would love to see him back.
Hope he comes back because if they do win that, I would like to see a fully healthy Bucks team playing up against the Warriors because we know that's where they're going to be. So speaking of that.
Heading out west.
Slide out into the west and talk about this disappointment?
It's not a disappointment. I'd have to disagree and say it's not a disappointment. I'm going to tell you why. First off, game 1.
Ref's fault.
I will hang my hat on saying the Rockets should have won that game.
They should have won that game.
With anyone who said
they should have won that game. I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all.
They lost by 4 points. The Rockets should have shot 9. No, James Harden should have shot 9 free throws.
Yeah,
he making at least 7 of them.
Yeah, 100%.
At least. And that puts Klay Thompson in foul trouble, if not fouled out.
Yeah.
Steph Curry should have been fouled out before he hit that shot over Nene to win the game. So I'm just saying, a whole lot of refs was wilding in that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's my biggest thing is the refs all year had the problem where people were complaining that, hey, you're giving him these fouls and they're not really fouls. So the refs, I imagine in their head said,
yeah, that might
all right,
be
well,
it.
then let's lock up on this. Let's stop giving him these baby fouls.
And
but I think the reason they're doing that is now they're kind of overlooking what actually is a foul.
Exactly.
I'm watching him take a 3. If they make any type of body contact.
Like, literally, Klay Thompson
was
all underneath him. He had nowhere to land. The only one I say that probably wasn't a foul was the last one he shot over Draymond, when he actually did exaggerate. But in my head, he probably was like, yo, y'all missed all these other ones. Ain't no way y'all going to miss this one. I'm going to sell it. But at that point, and at that time of the game, he can't rely on the refs to try to bail him out. He got to get to the rim.
But the thing is, that's how Harden plays.
That's just true. Yeah,
he likes getting other people in foul trouble. He likes going to the free throw line because he's a good free throw shooter. But I think the refs definitely have to call something. But you have to call a more fair game. If we're gonna sit here and watch this, it has to be fair. This is a series everybody wants to see in the West, so it has to be fair.
And I will say though, in game 2, I was okay with the officiating in game 2.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Game 2 officiating was a lot better. It was a lot cleaner. My biggest thing for the Rockets that they need to do is they need to move the ball more. And not even just move the ball. Their players have to move more.
Yeah.
So many times, I would watch them play, especially in game 2. I remember seeing it a lot, where it's literally just Harden pounding the air out of the ball.
Yeah.
And everyone's standing around the 3-point line. I saw 3 plays in a row where Chris Paul stood in the same corner with his hands on his knees. He went to the same corner 3 plays in a row, and they just let Harden
go ahead and do your one-on-one, your 1v1.
They need more from Paul. They need him to score 20 to 25 points a game. He hasn't done that yet.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. We talked about what Chris Paul are we going to see. Was it last episode? I think we talked about what Chris Paul are we going to see in the second round. And like I was saying, Harden got 30 points the second game. He scored 30.
Yeah.
What we got out of the rest of the Rockets was just normal games, 15, 17, stuff like that. But Chris Paul, we know what he's able to do. You know what I mean? He's the youngest banana boat brother. He should be putting up at least 25, 30. If they want to win, we need a more dominant game from somebody else besides James Harden.
Yeah.
You can't just have everybody else has okay games because you're playing the Golden State Warriors. They are more talented than you guys. And we know
Chris
that.
Paul had 18 in game 2. He was 6 for 14.
Exactly.
2 for 7 from 3.
Just a decent regular game. And that's not, you can't play a decent regular game and win a game. It's just not how it works. You know, I got 18.
I need more from Eric Gordon as well. Like
100%.
those three need to be like
the first
Harden
game-
leading the charge, and then Chris Paul and Gordon got to give me around 20 points a game.
Yeah,
I need to see
100%.
20 there at least.
Yeah, at least the number 20 and up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing low.
Because you're not getting
anything
anything else from your bench besides Austin Rivers,
Yeah.
which is crazy to say that Austin Rivers is a huge part of their offense now, because I feel like he's been the butt of so many jokes over the last couple of seasons.
I pretty much thought like, yo, when Chris Paul comes back, Austin Rivers won't see minutes.
But he's been playing good.
But Austin Rivers is,
low-key
it looks like he is the most, he's their sixth man.
No, he is their sixth man.
He's literally their sixth. I'm looking
He
at
had
it right
24
now.
minutes in game 2.
24 minutes.
And put up 14 points.
minutes.
And he plays good defense on Curry when he's in the game as well.
Yeah, I was just actually looking at Austin Rivers on YouTube. Quick off topic. This man has an amazing car collection.
Yeah.
He has an amazing car collection.
He
And
got
it's not
that-
a lot of cars.
It's not a lot, but it's
like
nice
stuff
cars
you
that he
don't
has.
think
Yeah.
of. Like
He
it's
has-
not like, oh, I got a Lamborghini Huracan.
He didn't just go to the lot and just cop them off the joint. He got some custom
He got
joint.
some stuff that goes up in value.
Yeah,
like
I
he
seen
got the
his
new
stuff.
Porsche.
I was on
think
his
it's the
Instagram.
GT2 RS. He has his own Instagram page
Yeah,
for cars
you
that
sent it
nobody
to
really
me.
knows about. He has like 3,000 followers.
Yep.
He's on like vehicle versions on YouTube. He's like, yeah, man, I watch all you guys' stuff, so I want to come on your shows. And he's starting a YouTube page this summer
dope,
about his
bro.
cars. I'm like, yo, Austin Rivers is really that dude. Like, I like cars too, so I'm probably gonna pay attention to it. I think it's really dope.
yeah.
But back on topic. I'm sorry about that. I just had to get that
Nah,
on my
I mean,
chest.
you're right.
It's actually pretty dope. Yeah, I didn't really know, but it was pretty dope. Also, didn't think he had that much money, but we'll get to that later.
I thought that too. When
Yeah,
I see
he
his
did
whip, I
say
was
his
like,
account was gonna flip when he
in
sees
my
what he
head, I
bought.
was like, let me look up his contract. What
The
type
new
of bread you
Corey bought
making?
$500,000, dog.
I was like, what type of bread you making? But all right, sir.
What was his contract? Did you see it?
No, I didn't actually look it up. I was saying I should have looked it up, but I
I'm gonna
didn't.
look it up later. But I mean, yeah. The thing is, we can't ask for anything more from their bench. Well,
No, you
we
can't.
can, but not
What, who?
Austin.
Houston's bench?
Yes.
Houston's bench?
Houston's bench. Besides Austin,
You're
put
not
up
getting anything
nothing.
else.
Gerald
You're not
Green
getting
put up
anything.
6.
You got Gerald Green, Kenneth Fareed, who was playing good for them, but I just don't think he.
yeah. Well, they didn't even really play him.
They only played 5. I don't
They
think
gave him 5 minutes.
I don't think they'll think he'll fit.
Yeah, they're not really
Against
giving
the-
anybody else
against the
time.
Rockets.
It looks like they're going with their starting 5 because they want to win the game.
Well, because that's what they don't have the chance to go to their bench because Golden State's not going to their. Neither team is going to the bench. If you look
Yeah.
at the box score for both teams, no one in Golden State bench even scored in double digits in game 2.
Yeah.
Like the highest minutes, Kevin Looney got 15. Kevon Looney got 15 minutes off the bench. Sean Livingston got 13 minutes off the bench. They're not really playing their bench, and a lot of that is because Iggy's starting. Iggy would have been the person who got a lot of minutes
you
off
know
the
what's
bench.
crazy? I'm sitting here looking. I'm like,
Where Iggy
yo,
at? He
when
was
did
looking
Iggy
for.
start starting on the Warriors?
They started him in
they
this series
switched
ever since
Draymond to center. Where's DeMarcus?
injured. What type of?
I don't pay attention
I'm
to the
sorry,
Warriors,
dog.
dog. I don't,
I'm sorry.
cut. Yo, I don't
This
pay
man
attention
just
to the
said, "Where
Warriors.
is DeMarcus?" That man got injured like before the playoffs started.
I didn't remember that.
We're supposed to be a basketball podcast, and he just said, "Where's DeMarcus?" He tore his quad.
I did know that. I'm sorry. You know what it was? The crazy thing is, I watched the YouTube video on that.
Man.
I knew that. I don't know why I asked
Yes,
that.
he
I don't
tore
pay
his
attention to the
quad.
Warriors.
So they're running pretty much small ball with Draymond at the center, and it's working out great for them because running Kevin Durant at the power forward is a mismatch because PJ Tucker can't really keep up with him. And then they saw some time when I saw Chris Paul was guarding him and he shot over him. James Harden was guarding him. He shot over him. Clint Capella was trying to guard him. He just blew by him. They don't have anyone to match up with Kevin Durant, but no one in the league really has anyone to match up with Kevin Durant besides like Kawhi Leonard. So
I think that's it.
yeah, I don't really know
entirely.
what they're going to do.
Maybe Giannis.
Maybe. But
Maybe Giannis.
in my opinion, it's not so much the Rockets need to play better defense because for the most part, they are playing good defense. I think the Warriors are just running very smart plays. I think the Rockets just also need to run smart plays. Like if you watch the game, you watch Warriors side of the ball, players moving, back doors, back cuts, screens, good
yep,
basketball,
pops, everything, and
rocket side of the ball.
they look like they want
No one's
James to
moving.
go 1-on-1 when he comes on the court.
No, they
He
do
comes on
want
the
him
court, he
one-on-one.
stops, and everybody just stands around like, all right, let's
They
see
do
what
want
he's
him
going
to
to
go
do
one-on-one.
first.
That's their whole offense, and it doesn't make any sense.
It
to
doesn't
me.
make any sense. Maybe against every other team, but against the Warriors, it's not
doesn't
going to win
work.
you a game. So I imagine that we're not the smartest ones in the Rocket staff, and they probably realize that. They'll probably make some game changes. We'll
I hope
see.
so, but
I
we'll
hope
see.
so, because if not, they on
But
their way
at the
to
same
get
time,
swept.
I don't know, because that's been their offense all season. The Rockets
and
have been
it's worked
playing
for 'em all
ISO
season.
ball all season.
Yeah, and it's
been
worked.
working for them. But so I don't really know if they're going to change it up.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see, really.
But-
Honestly.
The Rockets have to win both games. First off, they got to focus on Game 3, and that's a must-win game.
Yeah.
You have to win Game 3.
Honestly, you got to
And
win game
they
3.
do have to win
You're not
both,
coming
but they
back from
really
a
have to
3-1.
win Game
Yeah,
3.
if you don't win game 3,
They
you're
have
about to
to
get
win
swept.
both, but
Yeah.
they really have to win Game 3.
Because once you don't win games 3,
You're gonna get
in
swept.
the
Yeah,
back of your
you're getting-
mind,
yeah.
you know we're not winning this. So you're not going to put
But
your
you
full
got to
effort
win
out
Game
there.
3 to
Yeah.
even have the energy to walk in for Game 4.
Yeah, 100%. But enough of that. Hopefully that gets better, because that's what we've all kind of been waiting for. After last year, we were just kind of like, hey, maybe the Rockets got a chance this year. But maybe we were proven wrong. Blazers and Nuggets.
Blazers
I
and
think
Nuggets.
now is the most interesting
I
series. Besides the
like
Bucks, I think that Blazers
Nikola
and the Nuggets.
Jokic.
Yeah, So I'm gonna take back what I said last week. Take Joel Embiid out of the first team.
I told you.
Take him out of first
Nikola
team.
Jokic is that dude,
Yeah,
bro.
Slide
I
him
told
in there.
you.
Yeah,
Jokic
he's
is
balling.
nice.
He's balling. He's definitely balling.
Jokic is nice, and the thing
I
is,
got to catch the game
he
on my
don't
phone.
look nice.
He
Like-
doesn't look nice at all.
He
Like he's
don't-
one of those people. If you go to a school, you go play in the gym. Oh, I got him. He's probably trash, and he's gonna give you buckets.
exactly, bro.
I know plenty of times.
37 in
he
game
literally
1.
doesn't look like he's good, and he's amazing. He's an amazing passer. He's an amazing shooter. You know what I mean? He can hit a 3. People don't really even guard him. He can hit a 3. This man, I'm trying to tell you, is different.
Game 1.
Different. I'm just, man, I don't even know.
And the Nuggets run a lot of their stuff through him. They really let him go
Yeah.
to work. And it's not even like he can score, but all of their offense isn't necessarily for him to score, because they know he's such a good passer. So there are other players that are always moving around him, because they know if they get open, he's going to find him. So they're playing really good basketball. Game 1 was really good to watch. To watch him just dominate like that. We need to see him continue to do that.
I'll say game 1, Nuggets shot a little bit high from 3. I don't think that's their, I don't know what the norm is, but I'm pretty sure it's not 40-something%.
They have good 3-point shooters though, but yeah.
They do, but it was a little bit high. But like I say all the time, in series, I don't really pay too much attention to game 1. I let people dissect it, figure out how you're going to coach and all that, and then get back into it. Because the Blazers really didn't have a bad game on their end.
In game 1?
Yeah, they just ended up getting beat.
Yeah.
Like I looked at it and I was looking at percentages, 3-point percentages. It wasn't really that bad. You're looking
Alfred
at 38%.
Camino had a horrible game 1, and Maurice Harkless had a horrible game 1.
Yeah. But you got what makes up for that is Enes Kanter drops 26, which you don't get out of him.
I'm about to say, I
So
hope
that
that's
kind of
not-
makes up.
That's not going to continue because
No, that's not going to continue. No way.
in
this
round
world.
1 he
No
dropped
way.
I want to say it was 28 against
just
the
randomly.
the Thunder, and then he did nothing for the rest
It's
of the
like,
series.
we forgot to guard him. Maybe we should just shut him down next time. Remember to guard him, and then he'll score 10. So, he had a good game. CJ 16. Yeah, he can get a little bit more than that, but he was there, and Dame got his 40.
Yeah,
You know how Dame rolls. Rodney Hood 17 off the bench.
which is
Really good. And
Which
we
is
know
really,
Rodney
really
Hood
good.
we
Shout
know
out to
what he's
Mario,
available
Rodney
for.
Bucket
Yeah.
Hood.
Yeah, 100%. Rodney Bucket Hood. Rodney Bucket Hood. So I don't think they had a bad game. They had 2 players that did. But I'm interested in that game too, because I personally think I want the Blazers to win. I do want the Blazers to win. I think
I wanted the Blazers to win until I watched game 1, and I was like, I forgot how much I like watching the Nuggets, because when I was watching that
I like watching them
Spurs
too.
series,
Yeah.
I really was enjoying watching the Nuggets.
I was too, but like I told you, I don't pay attention to game 1.
I mean,
Because I feel like after game 1, you see it. All right, let's game plan and let's see where we're at now. They game plan. They won the game. They obviously was like, yo, Jokic, like, we're going to put a stop to you. You ain't scoring 37 next time. What, he dropped 16 game 2?
He dropped 16 game 2.
So they kind of contained him a little bit more, and that's what you got. You got a W out of that. So I think, honestly, I think they might be the better team if everybody's playing on a good stand. I think they might be the better team, and I think they're a better matchup when they go play the Warriors. I don't think they're going to win.
That makes sense.
But the Trailblazers, I think, are a better matchup. And I would love to see Dame versus Curry. I would love to see Dame versus KD, Dame versus Clay. I would like to see Dame just snap on the Warriors. I would love to see it. I would like to see him snap and get swept out the playoffs. I have no problem with that at all. I think that would be an entertaining thing to watch. But we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see another one for Game 2. I want to see. All these series that are tied, I really want to see these Game 2s because
Game
it's
3s?
been so... I mean, Game 3s, I'm sorry. I want to see their Game 3s because it's been so lopsided. You got people blowing each other out, people having, definite wins on both games. So I want to see where we go and who makes the best corrections, and see where we go from there.
Game 2 was interesting too for the Blazers because although Dame didn't have a great game, and numbers wise, if you just look at the box score, CJ only scored 20. But watching that game, the buckets he scored were all very, very timely. Whenever the Nuggets seemed like they were going on a run, CJ hit a 3 or something like that, and
knocked down a momentum.
What's his name?
Bring the game close.
Kevin McHale was the commentator for that game, and I was watching it on TNT. They was kept calling CJ the silencer. Because every time he hit something, he was like, the silencer strikes again to silence the crowd. So they just had a really, really good game all around.
Yeah. And I see off the bench, Rodney again. Zach Collins, 10 points. Rodney Hood, another 15 points off the bench.
If Rodney Hood can continue to give them about 15 to 20 off the bench,
and they get their regular out of their starting 5, I think that's a win.
Yeah.
I think that's a win. If they get their normal out of their starting 5 and get their Rodney Hood off the bench, I think it's a win. Yeah, I think it's a win.
Harkless had another horrible game. I wouldn't be surprised if they start Rodney Hood over Harkless in game 3.
I'm looking right now. I don't understand why. Maybe he only played 12 minutes.
I'm trying to remember if he got hurt. I don't think he got hurt that game. I can't remember if he got hurt that game or not.
Sure.
But he
sounds
just
like
wasn't.
He hurt, yeah. Either way, it's looking like they might need to snatch him up out of that starting position, and I think they'll be all right.
He did injure his ankle. That's right. He hurt his ankle.
Okay, so he might not be available for the next game. I
He's
guess
questionable for game 3.
Okay, so if he doesn't play and they move Rodney Hood up, they're probably going to keep it that way.
It's low-key been a lot of injuries in these first 2 games of the playoffs. James Harden's eyes get scratched.
That was crazy.
Steph Curry dislocates his finger.
Thought that was broken.
Did
Once
you see
I watched
the picture?
Closer up video, and it was just like this. I was like, oh, I hope it's broken.
That joint was wild. What's his name? Mo Harkless, his ankle, and then Torrey Craig's nose got broken.
I did see that.
And I was like, bro, what is going on? It was just a whole lot of injuries in the first 2. These first 2 the games out west.
It's the playoffs. You don't expect anything else. But is that all you got on West Coast over there?
That's all my thoughts on West Coast so far.
So yeah, that's going on what's going on so far. We'll see what happens. We got a game tonight. That's going to be fun to check out. Sixers versus Raptors. Extras. What's been going on this week in the NBA besides the playoffs?
So Popovich is allegedly reported to sign a 3-year deal to keep coaching the Spurs, and I wasn't surprised that he decided to come back. I was surprised and delighted that it was that the report is for 3 years, because it shows that he's willing to develop this young team that he has.
Yeah.
They got some good young guards over there, and I think DeRozan's really not even still that old either, so they can work something out.
Him in that system.
And I think Popovich and the Spurs will continue their streak of making the playoffs.
Yeah, I think so too. When I saw it, I didn't think his time was done. It just didn't feel like it didn't like you can feel when somebody's time is kind of coming to an end. I didn't really feel that with him yet. I felt like now obviously he doesn't have the same talent on his team, so you can't expect him to do as much.
This is true.
In the beginning of the year, we felt like it because they weren't winning.
And then I felt like that for a second because he looked just so frustrated. And did you see the end of Game 7 in that first round when so in the Game 7 of the first round of the Spurs versus the Denver Nuggets, the Nuggets are up about 3 or 4 with 20 seconds left, and you can see Popovich on the sideline screaming foul, foul, foul,
and nobody was fouling.
And
I did see that.
Just standing at the top of the key.
I didn't understand
and
that.
He's not fouling. I don't. that's just poor awareness of time and score.
I think, yeah.
And like
they asked him about it. He said he just didn't foul.
He's saying foul. And then you just see him like put his hands up and just like
I'm done.
look like he's like that's what his face looked like.
Yeah.
It looked like he said, you know what, I'm out of here anyway. Like, and I was nervous in that moment. But I'm happy to see he's coming back.
I wish he would have left.
Why do you wish he would have left?
Lakers need him.
Ugh, this man. If he leaves the Spurs, he's retiring. He's not going to somewhere else.
Give that man a bag. A bag he
has
cannot
enough
refuse.
bags.
No. There's no such thing as enough bags.
Retiring.
Somebody throw you some crazy bags.
He don't want
like,
to,
you know
he don't
what?
want to deal with that, bro.
My great grandkids
don't
want to
want to
live
deal
off
with
this
that.
bag.
He don't want to
And
deal with
He probably
that.
don't want to deal with that. I agree with you on that.
That media circle. He don't like to talk to the media now in San Antonio.
Yeah, but
The media.
they would know it in LA. He ain't gonna give you nothing. Ask him something stupid. He's gonna give you a quick answer. We're gonna get it over with. But for the whole Pop thing, like you said, I'm excited. I think Pop's the greatest coach of all time. I think I enjoy just watching.
He
the
has
Spurs.
the most all-time wins.
Yeah.
He got that in the last series.
I just like being able to turn on TV and just watch the Spurs, who aren't super talented on paper. They have good talent, but not like a stacked team, and they do very well, mainly because of coach.
Yeah.
And you miss that because what happened with super teams is so many good players on our team. You don't really need a coach. You know, what I mean, it's just too much talent, and the coach isn't needed. That's why Steve Kerr sits down a lot. If you pay attention to him, Steve Kerr just sits there. And
he's still coaching.
He coaches. Don't get me wrong. But there's a lot where he sits down and he just says,
He's calm and collected though, because what's the name also was like that a little bit. Popovich. He don't really be up and yelling.
He don't be up and yelling. Yeah.
Even he'd be up and yelling a little bit, but even like a coach like Doc Rivers will be, usually calm and collected until something crazy will happen, and then he'll start yelling. But some coaches, that's just their style.
Yeah, I understand that, but yeah, it'll be nice to see him. After 3 years, he's obviously done. I don't think he'll do anything else. I think he'll be done after 3 years.
Let me look that up.
He's at least what do you think, 60, 65?
That actually makes sense. I was gonna say he's older, but I think that's just basketball making him look old. Okay, he's 70.
Oh, he's.
I was gonna guess like 72, but I was like, that just might be basketball making him look old.
Anything longer than 3 years, that man gonna have health problems. Yeah, we can't do that. So, just a question for you: what do you think the Spurs are without Pop? In 3 years, where do you see their franchise going? Will they do a complete rebuild? Will they just try to?
Well, if
I imagine he'll have a mentor under him. They'll probably just let come
White
up.
And what is their other guards name? I always mess him up, and I always want to say DeJounte Murray is their point guard. Murray. Yes, if those two turn out to be pretty good, I always want to say the other Murray, and I cannot remember his name, but I always mess his name up. Yeah, if DeJounte Murray and Derek White, pan out to be half decent.
I think DeJounte Murray will be.
I agree.
I don't know about Derek White.
Yeah, he's
kind of fluky.
Mm-hmm. I think they'll be all right.
Yeah.
I think. I don't think they'll necessarily rebuild. It depends where they are at the time.
Yeah, they might just try to find some pieces.
Because to me, a part of that Spurs, I guess I'll say allure, grandeur was Popovich. And it's the same thing that I think they might have. They could. I don't think they will. I don't know if they will, but they could have trouble recruiting players there because they've always kind of had trouble because it's a small market.
Yeah.
But they also really haven't had to recruit players because they've had Duncan, Popovich, and Tony. So they didn't really have to.
That's true. So long with such great players, it just wasn't a bother.
So with that being a small market and with Popovich not being there, they'll probably have a hard time in free agency getting somebody to go there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we'll see. I think it's him leaving the Spurs is just as crazy as when Kobe retired. It's gonna have that type of impact on the league.
It's
when
gonna feel
MJ,
weird.
but when someone of that magnitude retires, it's just you're gonna feel it in the league.
I wouldn't say Kobe, but I don't want people to hate me for saying that.
You would? We would.
I wouldn't say Kobe.
No, people noticed. You felt it when Kobe retired.
You know what the difference was?
You about to see some other wild stuff.
This
probably even wilder than you
somebody
know what happened to
technically
DeMarcus.
surpassed him at the time. If there was a better coach than Greg at the time, because Kobe, you understand
Some
what I'm
people
saying?
are saying
No. I understand. People was very sad moment. It's like, dang, that changed the game. But you weren't looking at Kobe as the best player at that moment.
Some people look at other coaches as the best coaches in the league right now. Now
Steve Kerr. Don't say Steve.
I'm not going to say Steve.
Right.
This season hasn't helped his resume.
Celtics has the second best players.
Last year, people were saying Brad Stevens is going to be the best coach in the NBA
doesn't
2
help
years.
his resume.
I don't know if it doesn't help, but it doesn't hurt it. It kind of still people still consider him a good coach.
Yeah.
I think what are you doing with your foot, sir?
My phone trying to stretch my leg.
I think he'll still have that type of impact. Like when he leaves, it'll be a void in the NBA, and the NBA world will notice it. And
because we'll look at the Spurs and probably gonna be trash.
I mean,
I'm
that's
just
also
hoping
a
that. I think that's
possibility.
where it's going, and I hope it's not. Like I really
I
hope
it's not. I don't know.
Like I have a feeling the next year they're gonna win like 30 games.
What the next year after he leaves?
When he leaves, because I don't think they'll have. Will they still have DeMar? What's his contract right now? He's definitely not done after this year.
No.
I think he has like 2 years after this year. If that's the case, it would be around the same time. I just don't. I don't think they're gonna be as good. I think they're gonna win like 35 games, and I think they're gonna turn into like.
He's in a contract for the next 2 years. So Popovich's third year, he's an unrestricted free agent.
I think he's gonna turn them. They're gonna turn around and be the Suns. Yeah, I think they're gonna be the Suns.
The Suns?
The Suns.
That is a bold statement.
No, I think some people would agree with me on that. I think they're gonna turn around and be the Suns. I think he's gonna leave. I think
And it's going to turn into a bottom feeder.
Yeah, and I think once he leaves, when they see they have a bad game, people gonna be like, "Yo, get me up out of here." I think it's gonna be a black hole to go and die.
Oh boy,
I think that's what we're gonna be. But I'm off of that. Enough of that. Vince Carter. He said, "Yo, I want one more year.
Low key, Vince
I want
is
to
like,
play one more year."
oh, Nowitzki's finally done. Bet. Let me run one more so I can actually have that record.
Yeah, can I have one more? And can I go? There's no reason Hawks should say no to him.
No.
But I would say, hey, we're gonna give you a 1 year. Retire.
Oh, it's only gonna be a 1 year deal.
Yeah, a 1 year deal. He averaged 7.5 last year, which is a lot from a 42-year-old.
It is a lot.
7.5 points is a lot. It's people that's 25 that can't average more than 3. And this man is 42, averaging 7.5, and barely getting playing time. He getting what, 10 minutes a game, maybe?
Vince Carter plays something around that.
7.5 points a game.
7.4 points a game.
Yeah.
And
that is not bad numbers for a 42-year-old man.
It's not. He plays 17 minutes a game.
He never gets talked about for how he's still playing. I'm not going to say high level now, but he's still playing at 42. We talk about like LeBron and them, and I imagine it's just because the level he's playing at, but he's like freaking 10 years older than LeBron.
I mean, this is...
And still in the NBA. Still able to play every game. Now he should retire because you're going to mess around and break something that ain't going to heal when you're 42 years old.
This is true. But I mean, for part of that, I think part of it is he still enjoys playing.
He loves
and
basketball.
You can hear,
this is
like,
life.
you've seen it from a lot of players that, like, if they still want to play and if they still feel like their body's going to play, they're going to play.
Yeah.
That's kind of why Dirk, came back. Because I think some people thought Dirk was going to retire like 2 years ago. And
Yeah, I thought he was.
like, exactly. And he was
came
like,
back, I'm like,
I
all
feel
right.
good. I still want to play. I still love the game. So I'm going to play.
Yeah. It's understandable.
Honestly, I feel like if Kobe body didn't break down, he probably would have still played longer than he was.
Yeah, I think
like if Kobe didn't get the
retire way younger than anybody. He was like 32, 33.
Oh, he's like 33, 34. I can't remember off the top of my head.
He probably
but when he tore his Achilles, if he didn't tear his Achilles, he probably would have hooped till he was like 36, 37 years old.
I think 30, probably 36. Yeah, he got a couple years out.
I think some players, like, they just... And he's also been on this since he was 22 years old. Like, that's his whole... That's like... half his life has been in the NBA.
Half his life is in the NBA.
So for some players, it's just, this is what I can do. This is what I know. This is what I love. So I want to do it as long as possible.
Yeah. It's
and
really wow.
His body's still letting him do it. I don't see nothing wrong with it. Now, did you see what Gilbert Arenas said? Gilbert Arenas was on and he posted on Instagram. I don't know if he posted on his own Instagram.
Oh, I did.
Or he posted on a comment somewhere else. But he basically said, "Yo, stop all this. You need to retire, and because you're taking valuable minutes and time from
young trash men that's going to average
player.
less than you, and they're a lot younger than you."
Well, he's saying like a young player who had the opportunity to get in the NBA and have their life change.
It was a joke, right?
I think he was serious.
I thought it was a joke. I thought he laughed at the end of that, and it was kind of like it's a joke.
I don't know if he laughed at it or not. I took it as serious
because I don't take that as a valid statement.
I think what Gilbert was saying, I think not in the sense of like opportunity for a young player to have a bunch of production per se, and like average a lot of points or make an impact on the team. But I mean, anybody we know, we join the NBA and our lives should change forever.
Yeah.
Like you could have like a trash contract, but you still made $2 million in a year.
Yeah.
And that's a trash contract.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that's what Gilbert was saying. Like he's taking the opportunity
The Hawks
for
basically
someone
would need to pick up one more player.
pick up
if he
somebody
wasn't
else,
there.
and maybe their life just changed forever. You know what I mean? Because they were just NBA for a couple of seasons.
I mean, but you can say that about a lot of players in the NBA besides
Exactly.
Vince Carter. So like,
And I
if
was
he
really just shocked that
for
he
you
said
to throw
that.
out for Vince is stupid.
So I'm
One,
hoping
you're
it was
throwing
a
it out
joke.
because you ain't playing ball no
That's
more.
what made me think. That's what
Little
low-key
bit of
I was
jealousy, maybe?
thinking. Because that's what a lot of people were saying. Like in the comments, they were like,
Little bit
"Yo,
jealousy.
he's just upset he's not playing."
Yeah, 100%. I think that's what that is because 7.5
Gilbert's
points at
37.
42, and people pay tickets to come see Vince Carter.
Yeah, Gilbert
'Cause-
Arenas is 37.
Yeah, you're 5 years younger than this man. You can't play ball.
Last time he played ball was 30.
You're trash.
He's
You're
not
trash.
trash. He just
You're
had
trash.
I don't know really what happened. Gilbert had an interesting career. He was
30.
hot and then he wasn't.
30.
He flamed out.
I'm about
But
to say 30, boy. That's your peak. You flamed that
yeah,
out
he
your
played from
technical
20.
peak.
He played from 20 to he played 10 seasons from age 20
Lord
to age
Jesus.
30.
Yeah, I don't want to hear nothing from 30-year-old retiree.
So I just thought it was real interesting that he said that, and I just thought it was a little necessary. Like you said, if you thought it was a joke, I hope it was a joke.
That's what I thought. I'd have to look it up again. I'm not super worried about it, but I swore it was a joke. But I mean, if it wasn't, I understand where he's coming from. You know,
I think he's wilding.
Yeah, I just think it's something we'll have to see. But do you think he should do like a? Because I'm hoping this year is his last year. Mm-hmm. Like after this year, I'm kind of like, all right.
You think he
gotta
like
roll it.
announces it and has like some sort of
Yeah, similar to D Wade. Maybe not
Like
the
a
whole
D-Wade,
jersey
Kobe
swap, but
joint.
maybe even the jersey swap, because I think that's a cool thing that all retirees should do. But Vince Carter is a very important person. He's played through so many decades of great players.
he's important for the culture.
Yes.
But he's not important in the terms of like
the greatest.
all time great. Like
Yeah, he's not. But
players.
he's like, you know what I mean? He's the dunk king from back in the day. He's important as a singular player. Not in a group of talking about top 5, top 10 of all time. He's
Yeah.
not there. But he is an
he's
important
for
player.
the culture though. Yeah.
Yes, and I think as a culture, people love Vince Carter. So
People do mess with Vince Carter heavy.
it should
because
be
of his-
something. You know, it should be something. You know, we'll see.
I think it. Well, I'll say this. I think it could be something, but at the same time, I don't think it will be because, like, if you look at how people who did have, like, I guess you'd say like a retirement parade, you could say like a Kobe or a D Wade, they were both still good enough players to give their team. Like, people still turned on those games because you're like, yo, they could. I mean, it's probably not gonna happen, but they could drop 25. Like, D Wade dropped like 25, 30 points a couple of times this past season.
Yeah.
Kobe was like dropped 60 in his last game. You know what I mean? Like, Vince Carter can't do that.
Yeah.
So, and the Hawks aren't going to give him those minutes to do that because they're worried about their young. They're worried about their young guys. They know they're losing games, so why not groom their young guys?
If giving him those minutes this year just means that it's going to sell you more tickets, then because people are going to
Maybe.
show up for his last year, and it's like, what are you going to keep the
I'll put it
minutes
to you this way.
to try to make the playoffs?
I'll put it to you this way: if Paul Pierce, who's an NBA champion, didn't get a retirement parade type deal, I don't think Vince Carter's going to get one.
I think what D Wade just did kind of changed the game for retirees.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think.
Kobe pretty much did the same thing without the jersey retirement. Because every team had a thank you Kobe celebration moment video, and he with the mic at half court saying thank you, I love this city.
But
this, that,
also,
and the
we
third.
said again, one of the greats,
Yeah.
Paul Pierce, and he's going to disagree with me. You know what I mean? NBA TV probably, if I ever wrote this out, it'd probably mention me online and just be like, you're an idiot. But he's not one of the greats. Depending on how long we're going to make this list of greats.
Yeah, okay.
What do we got to do? Top 20, 30 to put him in it? Let's relax. I don't know.
All right. I mean, I see what you're saying.
Sell some tickets. He's retiring.
But,
Sell some
like,
tickets. Hype it up.
and
Just, you know.
I don't know if he'll
42.
get something like that. And I think he's also more chill to that. Like, he knows he's not like.
Yeah, he's not stupid. He knows.
I think he knows he's not like on that level. And because the last player who did have a parade was Dwayne Wade and Dirk, another all-time great, went out quiet. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go out quiet and probably have something on my last
He might
night.
just keep it simple and just be like, hey, man, look, I'm just playing this until I can't no more and I'm out.
Yeah, he
Simple.
might say that and then retire at the end of the season.
Yeah, we'll see, though. I think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. Did you see the Banana Boat crew? Since they all literally not in the NBA right
You
now.
mean the Banana Dads?
Banana Dads at Bronny's game, I think. It was like LeBron.
Yeah, it was.
I don't
Bron,
think Chris Paul was there.
Melo was there. No,
Carmelo.
because Chris Paul's in the playoffs.
Yeah.
LeBron, Melo,
D Wade.
Wade was there.
Haslam was there.
Yes, yeah, and it was them four. Haslam was there.
Them four just at a freaking.
It was at an AAU game.
Yeah,
I think it was
chilling.
I think they said it was like Melo's team or something. I don't know, but
It was both Melo's and LeBron's.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I saw that. I thought that was pretty
EYBL.
funny. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
I
it was
like
pretty
the
cool. I
fact
saw
that they're
that.
pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool.
Is Melo gonna get picked? It's off topic, but is Melo gonna get picked up by NBA team next year?
They were mentioning on the
They're
radio.
they were saying
Is
like
the
he
Knicks
wants.
interested in him again or something?
I haven't heard the Knicks are interested in him.
Okay, that's what was said on the radio today.
And that interview, somebody interviewed him or something like that, and somebody asked him, "Would you be open to going back to the Knicks?" And he said, "If it becomes a possibility, he'd be interested." Or if things happen in a certain way, he made it sound like if they sound like they're gonna be a winning team, he'd be interested in maybe joining them or going back or something like that. But in my head, I'm like, Melo, what? I don't think they want you back. Like, no offense to Melo, and as much as he did for the culture in New York, because he was New York when he was there.
New York. He was.
You know what I mean? Hitting the three off his dome all the time. Like, he was.
Everybody does this
New
now.
York.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's the whole culture thing. Yeah.
But I don't really think they would want him
I'm
back.
gonna be honest with you. If he plays again, it's not because of him. It's because LeBron asked the Lakers to put him on the team. I think.
I feel like they tried that.
Who owns him right now? The Bulls, right?
No.
The Hawks.
Who? Melo's contract?
Yeah.
The Rockets.
I don't.
Yep.
I thought
do.
they traded him. And
He's still under their contract. He just doesn't play.
you sure?
I'm almost 85% certain.
I swore he got traded and they just didn't play him. I don't know. I swore that's what it was. I can't even remember now. I'm trying to see. Either way, this man is making so much freaking money to not be playing ball. I swore he got traded somewhere and they just never played him. I don't know if it was the Hawks or was it Chicago, but it was one of them.
The last I heard,
and they didn't play
was
him.
the Rockets, and the Rockets didn't play him. But that was the last I heard, because he was on.
Bulls.
That's who he plays for now.
He's on the Bulls. Yeah, they just didn't play him. Yeah, he's on the Bulls. It's up on Spotrac.com. He's under the Bulls. I thought it was.
I saw that say the Bulls, but I didn't know if that was correct.
He got traded and they just didn't play him, so they're just basically holding it. So I was confused on why. I think he was. So the thing was, he was supposed to be let go.
Pretty sure he's on the
Then
Rockets.
he was gonna go. He was on the Rockets. They traded him, but then he just didn't play.
For what?
Probably like a super late round pick because they just don't care. They just want him off the team. I'm pretty sure that's where it's at. Yeah, he's definitely on the Bulls. I do remember that trade going down. But yeah, basically, I don't think he'll play next year. Only way he'll play is if LeBron's like, yo, can you bring him over to the Lakers? Besides that,
all about the fact that he was on the Bulls.
Yeah, because nobody paid attention to him this year, and it sucks because it's Carmelo, and I love Carmelo. It's just his career just took a dump, But I mean, it is what it is. But I don't.
So you don't think he's gonna get picked up by a team?
I don't know. If I'd put money on it, I would say only if LeBron's like, yo, can we get him off the bench on the Lakers? Because I want him to have a better season than he did, then leave.
I mean, yeah, the last time we saw him on the team,
he just had a bad couple seasons. Now it's just like, yo, he's not even in the league because the Bulls don't even want to deal with him.
Well, the Bulls are,
it's a terrible way to just look at it.
They're dealing with their player development. They're playing their young guys.
I understand that. It just looks bad for him. Like your career just and not even injury, just dwindled.
I mean, some players it just happens like that.
It does, but if you have a chance to change that, I think you should take that chance to change that. I think he should just come in, try to fit into whatever role works in this day and age NBA. Mm-hmm. If he's a spot-up shooter, swing the ball, please. Come off the bench, get your 15 minutes a game, and just help out, and then retire. I think that's a better look. If he could do that, I think he'll be great. I think he'll be good.
Melo dropping 15 a game.
I'm fine with that.
He can get 15.
If 15 minutes, I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you said 15 points off the bench. I said Melo got 15.
10. If he averages 10 and plays 15 minutes and he's shooting 55%.
I'd rather him
60%,
just retire than see Melo play 15 minutes a game off the bench.
I can't do that. He's old though. He's old. It's gonna happen to everybody.
I mean,
Actually, it probably won't happen to everybody. Everybody else. D-Wade.
but D Wade's was more graceful. I feel like.
It was graceful because D-Wade accepted what was happening.
Two things is different about
never
D-Wade.
accepted you're getting worse.
D-Wade accepted it a couple years ago, like 2 years ago already.
Yes, and D-Wade,
and then D-Wade went out in his home. He went out in Wade County.
Yeah.
Melo doesn't have. I mean, Melo's version of Wade County is New York, and I don't know if it's going to be able to happen in New York. Like they don't want to back in. Like Denver, OGs in Denver rock with him. But like current Denver heads, they ain't really worried about Melo in a powder blue jersey with some cornrows.
Yeah,
they're not checking for him like that in Denver right now.
Denver Nuggets
but
fans,
like he have to go back to
different.
New York to have that type of
love,
nostalgic and
that
love,
he got
like
from
you know,
Miami.
embrace him to come off the bench
and
just do whatever. And I don't know if that's going to happen in New York.
If New York
trying
is
to set
trying
themselves
to
up to win a chip next year, not have
they're trying to set up a
retirement
big team.
ceremony.
Yeah, they're not. That's not what they're looking for. So, I mean, you are right in that fact. You 100% are.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't see it happening for him.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
it sucks. It really
he could
does
be one of them
suck,
players that I think fade out, and then you hear like 2 years down the line, oh, Melo officially announced retirement. Bro, you ain't even been in the league for 3 years. What do you mean you now retired?
That's probably
like
what's gonna
it's
happen.
players like that. He'd be like, yo, I ain't heard from him in a while. Why did you see Woe's tweet? He retired.
Didn't like Nate Robinson do that or something?
I think someone like that.
Did he
like
even announce retirement yet?
But I'm saying players like that who
they just don't play a couple years. You forget about him,
and
it's
then
like
they just announce their
retires.
retirement.
You're like,
you've been retired, bro.
Yeah, we thought you wasn't able to get back in the league, bro. But I will tell you this though: let Melo retire. That Big 3 tournament about to be crazy.
You think Melo will join the Big 3?
I hope
his game fits for it.
It does because it's old school.
It's all just offense, pretty much.
And he would ball out.
Yeah,
he would go off. They need somebody like him because Allen Iverson proved that he's still Allen Iverson, so they're not going to let him play anymore.
Wait, what?
You didn't hear about what happened in the Big 3 last year? I don't mean to drag the podcast on today, but I'm gonna get to the point real quick.
I thought AI didn't play because I thought they stopped. AI left because he was on the team and then he just wasn't never playing.
No, he was playing a lot of time. They went to Philadelphia.
I heard he wasn't playing.
They stopped playing him a certain amount of minutes. They went to Philadelphia. You know this nigga didn't show up for the game?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was hearing. Yeah, he wasn't showing up for games. He wasn't playing.
That's what he was doing.
That's
he
why
was being AI.
Oh, I thought you meant he was being AI as he was giving people buckets. That type of AI.
Nah, he was being AI and attitude like, you know what?
That's
I don't feel like getting up today.
All right, because that's what I heard. I was like, I heard he wasn't showing up for nothing, so that's why they stopped playing him.
Like Philly sold out.
That's what. Yeah, that's the show I heard.
Just to see AI.
And he
pulled out
didn't show
the
up.
dusty jerseys and he didn't come.
Yep.
People were pissed, but you know it is what it is. But we'll see what happens. What's in store for Carmelo Anthony next summer? We'll see. I'm not super worried about it. But you got anything else for me, brother?
I do not.
All right then, we're gonna wrap this one up. Everybody,
give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts.
You heard 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, on Anchor.fm, on YouTube at Hawks Hoops. Check us out.
See y'all next week.
Good night.
Peace.